UUCA. We have two fairly new hymns for you to open up this fantastic installation service. Please rise in body or in spirit. I'll teach them to you. The first one goes like this. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Your turn. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Try it again. Be open for something wonderful to happen. There you go. Be open to the possibility. Second part goes, aye, 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 1, 2. Be open. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 less familiar one. It goes like this. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. And change will come to you. Sing with me. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. The change you want to see in the world, and change will come to you. Be the voice. Be the voice you want to hear in the world. Be the voice you want to hear in the world. Be the voice you want to hear in the world, and change will come to you. Be the light. Be the light.
I'm Dr. Tony Stringer, a Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta lay minister. I am also a member of Reverend Taryn Strauss's Call Process Task Force. And I'm here to welcome you to UUCA. Here, we believe in radical welcome. Amen? Amen. That's right. We welcome you who identify as Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, or Buddhist. We welcome you who identify as atheist, theist, or agnostic. Whatever your understanding of the holy as it moves through your life, you are welcome here. Your non-binary identity, your gender-queer identity, your trans identity, your gay, lesbian, bisexual, or heterosexual love are all welcome here. Your culture, ethnicity, and ancestry are a part of who we are. Your white identity, your black identity, your indigenous identity, your person of color identity is cherished and honored. Your neurodiverse self is understood and welcomed here. This is your place, your home, and we are your people. And let me say a special welcome to Reverend Taryn's family, friends, colleagues in ministry, and fellow UUs from around the country. Welcome to UUCA. Today, on the auspicious occasion of our installation of Reverend Taryn as our called senior minister. Yes. On this auspicious occasion, I also welcome you to what we have imagined together. From an office park rental, we imagine being in this space together. Will the congregation say, welcome to the imagination?
Welcome to the imagination.
From pandemic isolation, we imagine being in this community together. Please say, welcome to the imagination.
Welcome to the imagination.
From the end of one ministry, we imagine the start of a new ministry together. Say, welcome to the imagination.
Welcome to the imagination.
United in hope. United in dream, united in community and spirit, let us say all together, welcome to the imagination. Amen.
Amen.
And now I invite Towns and Langston Richards to light our chalice. Just Langston. Right. Let us say the chalice lighting words together. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
Josh isn't here. We'll go to the next one. He's in flight. He's in flight. Huh.
I am the Rabbi Josh Lesser Consolation Prize. On behalf of Josh, I'd like to accept them. My name is Matt Laney. I am the co-pastor of Virginia Highland Church, UCC. Thank you for that note of inclusivity. There is a Trinitarian in the house, and I do feel welcome here. Thank you. As you may know, for some, UCC stands for Unitarians Considering Christ. Oh, you've heard that. Yes, well, there is that. We sometimes say we are the last house on the left, but the truth is there is one more house next to us on the left. That would be you. And that makes us family. It makes us cousins. It makes us neighbors. And in my tradition, this whole thing about loving thy neighbor is pretty big. So I'm here to bring love from your neighbors at Virginia Highland Church, United Church of Christ. It is a great gift to be here on behalf of the whole family that we represent together. We had a little schism once upon a time about a certain issue, like whether or not divine reality is multi-dimensional or unidimensional. But I think we can get over that. There is more that unites us than divides us, and it is a great gift to be here on this wonderful occasion to celebrate the superbly gifted Reverend Taryn Strauss for this wonderful occasion. I first got to know Taryn when she convened a clergy support group and had the audacity to invite me to be a part of it, along with some other local ministers. It got busted up during COVID, like so many things, but we've continued to be friends and lean on each other when we needed a shoulder to lean on or to cry on and to be dusted up and put back into the field. And I know, Taryn, you have been that for me, and I hope I've been a rock for you occasionally when you have needed it. Now, in the 6 or 7 years that I've known Taryn, I have never learned her middle name. Now, don't tell me, because I'm going to just claim a little privilege here and assign you a middle name. If I was to give Taryn a middle name, it would be Steadfast. Taryn Steadfast Strauss. It just rolls off the tongue. You can see it in lights. Why steadfast? Well, because the definition, all the synonyms of steadfast fit. Steady, constant, faithful, unwavering. That's Taryn. And beyond that, in the biblical tradition, you might know that steadfast is a word that often precedes another word, love. That is how the Bible often describes who God is, steadfast love. And doesn't that also describe the Reverend Taryn Strauss, an incarnation, dare I say, of steadfast love? Without this steadfast love, this person of steadfast love, we would not be sitting in this building. Y'all have been through a lot of stuff. And it took the guidance of Taryn Steadfast Love Strauss to get you here. And I think that is so worth celebrating. So on behalf of your siblings in faith at Virginia Highland Church, I am delighted to be here to celebrate the ministry of steadfast love and to encourage you all as a community to be about the work of steadfast love together in this city and in this world. Amen? Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was beyond my pay grade. Thank you, Don. Hey, you all. I'm the Reverend Nancy Palmer Jones. My pronouns are she and her, and I serve the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Gwinnett in Lawrenceville. Yeah. And I am here to bring you the love and greetings of Unitarian Universalist ministers. And I summon our spirits from all over the country and all around the world. Reverend Taryn, we who have also given our lives to this faith know how complicated this path can be. We know how high are the joys, how deep the sorrows, how muddy the road when the slog is long, and how bright the fields when the work of community, of love, and of liberation all come together and cross-pollinate to bear flourishing fruit as you are doing here. Today, we honor your unique journey to this moment. Today, we celebrate all that you are and all that you bring to your partners, this very, very, very lucky congregation. Reverend Taryn and the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, may you always feel yourselves held by this cloud of ministerial witnesses who bring our hope and our joy for all the ways in which you will continue to grow together.
Back when the earth was new and heaven just a whisper. Back when the names of things hadn't had time to stick. Back when the smallest breezes melted summer into autumn. When all the poplars quivered sweetly in rank and file. The world called, and I answered. Each glance ignited to a gaze. I caught my breath and called that life, swooned between spoonfuls of lemon sorbet. I was pirouette and flourish. I was filigree and flame. How could I count my blessings when I didn't know their names? Back when everything was still to come, luck leaked out everywhere. I gave my promise to the world, and the world followed me here. Amen.
So, what in the world is ministry? Well, I've invited a few of my friends to help us answer this big question. And we decided a few things, yes. I'm going to move you all over here, all to the center. Here we go. Ministry is writing sermons and prayers. Yep. Ministry is reading ancient and new books and newspapers. Yep. And we all know, very important, ministry is meetings. Meetings, yes. But ministry is also calming people down who are upset. Yeah. And ministry is praying with people or alone. Ministry is washing feet. Ministry is having hard conversations. Sometimes, yep. Ministry is helping people survive a flood. Ooh, I see the flood coming. Yes. Yes, yep. Ministry is blessing the animals. Yeah, yes. And ministry is raising money. Yeah. Ministry is protesting injustice. Yes, all right. Yep. Ministry is telling stories. Yes. Oh my gosh, can you feel that? Yes. Yes. And ministry is blessing trucks full of donated supplies. Yes. All right. Thank you. All of that is ministry. Yes. Ministry is something that includes us all. We all do ministry together. Our players had to change their positions and evolve to meet the needs of the time. Because what ministry is always changing as the world changes and grows. Because ministry serves the whole world and heals the world. Ministry is everything. everything. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. Oh, stay here. I'm gonna do the movement for you. Okay, so won't you join us in our movement prayer? We invite you to rise as you are willing and able. First, we bow to honor the Spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of Spirit. We bring these gifts up to ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present, honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present. Amen. Blessed be. So at this time, we would like to invite any kids who would like to experience some creative play to exit. And please note the location for this is just down the hall on the first floor. And I also invite all to make use of the items from our Wonder Wall if you would like to keep your hands busy during this worshipful time. And as our kids recess, please take this opportunity to visit the Wonder Wall and greet your neighbor, especially someone you have not met. Hi. I'm Lauren Beth. Yes. Jeff, nice to meet you. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Chief. Happy to see you. You seem so pretty. I'm gonna kick you down. You were the first one. That's because I was up at midnight.
Okay, so this next hymn, I'm going to teach you a part, and then you can sing that part for like the whole 4 minutes of the hymn. But a bunch of other stuff's going to happen too, and so if you're feeling it, you can just mess around. Why don't we rise in body or in spirit? The part I'm going to teach you goes like this. Oh freedom, oh freedom, oh freedom, freedom is coming. Try it. Oh freedom, oh freedom. Oh, freedom, freedom is coming. Keep it going. Oh, freedom, freedom is freedom, freedom is freedom, freedom is coming. Oh, yes, my freedom, freedom was freedom, freedom was freedom, freedom is coming. Oh, yes, I know, oh, yes, I know.
name is Reverend Nancy McDonald Ladd. My pronouns are she, her. I work at our Unitarian Universalist Association, and I am Taryn's preaching buddy. This morning, I have a story to tell you. A long, long time ago, in a land far, far away, because isn't that how the good stories start? A long time ago, in a land far, far away, legend tells us that a beautiful city raised its towers upon the hills and in the valleys of a beautiful land. The king of that city and his daughter, the princess, they hoped that when the people rose every day at dawn, because apparently the people in this kingdom rose every day at dawn, I don't know, they would be comforted and they would be calmed by the mountains and the trees and the star-strung ocean, and consider the wonder and the great and sacred honor of protecting it together. It is said that the king and the princess, they loved all the people the same. They treasured the people's stories and their music and their cultures and their traditions. In those high places and in the valleys, they carved out ways for the pagan believers to worship alongside the Christian brothers and sisters, the siblings of all faiths. The towers rose to the sound of music, while artisans labored in the streets to build a common thread of love amidst it all. It is said that one day, the very oldest of the pagan priests of that great city died. His king stood with him to the last and buried him in a sacred grove of oak trees, next to which the king built a beautiful chapel with a bell tower that was the highest point in that beautiful city. It is said that the bells rang out in that tower every day, sounding out over the sacred ancient groves and over the beautiful sanctuaries the people built for themselves, blending with the crashing of the waves against the shore and the song of the forest that never stopped its singing in the hills. And the people lived there in peace alongside each other in a place where each and every one of them was important. One day in the beautiful city, there was a terrible, terrible storm. Some say that each year before that storm, the waves came closer and closer at high tide. Some say inch by inch the city sank toward the sea. Some say they did not know it could ever, ever happen there. Yet before the great winds had ceased to blow, the beautiful city was submerged, and the bells of the chapel in the ancient grove rang out for all to hear, even as the ocean rose up to cover them entirely. The bells rang out for what was, and for what remained, and for all the people and all of their differences. They rang out above the waves and then beneath them for all the kingdoms to perceive in their dreaming. Some say that if you listen, if you perceive truly on a quiet day when you have made some space in your heart, you can still witness the ringing of the bells even now, ringing out from above and below and within, calling us to build that world where each and every person is important so that the beautiful city might shine again. Some say the bells ring to remind us of all that we can be together. Now, I read that story first in the work of the great 20th century preacher, Harry Emerson Fosdick. Some 100 years ago, Fosdick preached that story from a sanctuary whose bells rang out across the sacred city, though in his case, it was not situated at the intersection of myth and history. It was indeed on the southeastern corner of Riverside Drive and 122nd Street in Morningside Heights. From his pulpit at Riverside Church in New York City, Fosdick told that story to the people who gathered. He said that he told it again and again to remind the church who it was and what it was meant to be and do in this world. A place that remembers, but more than that, a place that renews. From his gleaming high pulpit, he once said that it is in church, in the places we gather together in congregations, it is in these places when we do the very best we can, inadequate though it may feel, when we remember what it is we believe in and who it is we love. It is in these places, these churches, these congregations, these communities, when we too might quiet down enough to hear, to fully perceive the distant pealing of the bells of the sacred city where each and every person has always been beloved. With, admittedly, the gender binary and rhetorical limitations of his age. He wrote so beautifully of we who arrive in these places to seek and find deeper ways of being, when he said, "Such is the soul of man, with sacred things deep sunken, which life's storm makes us forget. And here, oftentimes on a Sunday morning, we have been so moved in worship that we too might hear once again the pealing of the bells." Do you hear? Do you perceive? Do you feel in this place the pealing of the bells of the beautiful city? Did you perceive it? Did you know it? Did you feel it this week when you packed pallet after pallet of water and peanut M&Ms? And when you gave your money and your time and your love to send by mule back all the devotion you could to the ones whose hearts and lives are and will always be sacred? Did you perceive, did you hear, did you know the pealing of the bells in this place, not just of some sunken city of the past, but of the future city you, we, all of us might build together? Did you perceive it when you waved the trucks off on their way and just know that this is what it means to be the church made manifest in the world? The bells ringing out, not just of what was, but of what is right here and of what still can be, if we can imagine it, labor for it, and laugh and weep our way alternately toward it. You may or may not know that indeed the progressive religious tradition in which we gather, this place we make a home, in fact, the Unitarians and the Trinitarians alike on the left side of the spectrum, we have our modern foundations in the very preaching Harry Emerson Fosdick did at Riverside Church in New York City 100 years ago. Because it was there in that pulpit where he spoke of the essence of the church, that he briefly and brightly, before he got fired, took up the task of defining what modernist American Protestant theology could be against the backdrop of fundamentalist doctrine. When I was installed in my first congregation, wait for it, 20 years ago this month, I'm holding up. Most of us, if I am honest, were basically still preaching a modernist vision of the church pioneered by Fosdick and his colleagues back at Riverside and other big pulpits like it in the 1920s. We spoke of ourselves as a modern progressive tonic for the various pre-modern unscientific orthodoxies that we encountered every single day outside the doors of our sacred places. As the Reverend Tom Shade once wrote in our UU World magazine, in the middle of the 20th century, when contemporary Unitarian Universalism was formed, our public theology was shaped by our resistance to the public civic Christianity of the day. We believed in deeds, not creeds, and in building heaven on earth, and in social action, we were militants about the separation of church and state. We were increasingly drawn toward an oppositional stance in society. On a theological level, he said, we were quite content to be sure of what we didn't believe and much, much, much more vague about what we did. Sound familiar? A modernist vision, a progressive tonic for a conservative world, a hair shirt to itch the holy hell out of the complacent and the pious and the phony. That was the UU theological landscape in which I was ordained 20 years ago, though already the beginning of the 21st century, we were really still preaching a mid-20th century vision. We were raucous and honestly pretty self-righteous and a great lot of fun sometimes. And I loved us. But no matter how much you love it, indeed, because you love it, the beautiful city never stops being rebuilt. The kingdom never finishes its act of arriving. The tradition we are a part of is, in fact, a living tradition, and the way they say leads on. The desolations and declamations of one age do not apply one for one to the challenges and opportunities of another. And meeting this moment, this terrible, beautiful moment, requires skills undreamt of in a former age. For much of the last decade, at least, to varying degrees of success, I have been preaching that the real task in front of us as progressive religious people is not so much the ceaseless declaration of a modernist intellectual tonic over and against the fundamentalist doctrine, but the proclamation of a radical form of pluralistic interdependence in the face of everything that atomizes and disconnects in this lonely world of ours. I have been preaching that we should inculcate a faithfulness not to our own eventual triumph, but to the reality that is our mutual accountability to one another and to the holy as we understand it, that pushes back the cynicism of our days. In this always changing time, I wonder if the whole deal that we proclaim, the gospel that allows us to hear the distant pealing of the bells, is neither modernism versus fundamentalism, nor maybe even interconnection versus alienation, but, hear me out, imagination instead of surrender. Dreaming together instead of resigning ourselves to a drifting and irresistible current of despair that we fool ourselves to think we can do nothing about. Now, you know, Taryn, my friend, your pastor, Taryn is a futurist, and she is in the company of the good and great. Jaime Cascio, a futurist thinker and author, wrote that the current moment of political mayhem, climate disasters, and global pandemic, and so much more we are in, vividly demonstrates the need for a way of making sense of the world, the need for a new method or tool to see the shapes this age of chaos takes. The methods we have developed so faithfully over the years to recognize and respond to commonplace disruptions seem, he wrote, increasingly painfully inadequate when the world appears to be falling apart. It is hard to see the big picture when everything insists on coloring outside the lines. Unless, of course, you, all y'all, are a people accustomed to coloring outside the lines yourself. Unless, of course, the idea of reimagining what we are and what we are capable of is not terrifying or stultifying, but exuberant and grand and experimental and brave, like this ministry that you share. Unless, of course, this imaginative act of improvisation and joyful resistance is the way you stretch yourselves to perceive the long submerged pealing of those ancient bells, calling you back to the beautiful city that others may merely look back upon with tears. Cascio goes on to say that the dangers of this time are so real as a nation and in our world because, he says, everything is becoming more brittle, anxious, nonlinear, and incomprehensible. We have new and different tools with which to build, tools that are not at all beyond our comprehension or our use. If indeed the world is, which this feels familiar to my heart's landscape these days, if the world is more brittle, anxious, nonlinear, and incomprehensible, he says, consider the way, and I quote, that brittle gets countered by bendable, as in flexibility and resilience. such as alternative sourcing and disaster plans. Consider that anxiety can be met by acceptance and empathy. Consider that non-linearity needs neuroflexibility. Consider that the capacity you have to improvise will save us all. Reject scripted responses, invent it anew, and push back against the incomprehensibility of our time with the inclusion of multiple diverse perspectives and ideas. We have the tools. Does that sound familiar to you and to your ministry? A flexibility, a courage, a willingness to tell a new story to the moments that you know together you are touching the heart of what it means to be a religious community in these days, bound by the Spirit and called still to perceive the pealing of the bells. As our guy Harry Emerson Fosdick said, rather optimistically 100 years ago, the future belongs to these things we have been standing for. Someday the whole church will swing round to them, take them for granted, wonder why they ever seemed new or strange, and what is the heresy of one generation will become the orthodoxy of the next. So get on that. Our call today is different than the call of previous generations. We are not gathered here to be the last lone bastion of religious progressivism where all the like-minded liberals hang out together like a country club for vaguely woke, smart people. Instead, we are called to be a place of deep soul-to-soul encounter in which we might defend. You see what we're doing? Flexibility. We might defend once again the persistent call of freedom to know one another and thus care for one another in actionable ways, the freedom to hope and keep hoping, so that the pealing of the bells from that beautiful city will fill every room we enter. Do you hear them? Can you feel them? The bells ringing out. They have rung throughout the ages for the generations that include us in this space and long before, and they are ringing still. Singing out from the steeples of the past and the towers that you will raise from the future you will imagine together. Calling out to you to take this act of hope you have found in one another into a new day, a new era, a new dawn. Can you feel the pealing of the bells? It only takes a little imagination. They ring for you, for your shared ministry, and for us all. Amen.
I didn't have it memorized. So. Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
Reverend Taryn often says that she has no shortage of ideas. If you know her, you know that. She is a dreamer, and I'm thankful that she found a congregation of dreamers. Actually, let me walk that back just a bit, because Reverend Taryn is not just a dreamer, she's a doer. And what she found was a congregation that rolls up their sleeves and it gives of their time, their talent, and yes, their treasures. And when it comes to pure imagination, this congregation thrives when it is that we let ourselves dream.
Yes.
But this theme of imagination, it's not just whimsical, it's a driving force behind everything that we do. This past week, we saw the real power of this congregation's imagination come to life. Our generosity and our actions, they brought life-saving supplies to Asheville and western North Carolina, where Hurricane Helene had devastated homes, it took lives, and it tried to break a community. Just days ago, I sent you an email. I asked you to come to the church with diapers, water, and food, and you did. I asked you to come help me load up U-Hauls with baby formula, batteries, and wet wipes, and you did. And I asked you to contribute to our relief fund so that we could respond quickly to the real-time needs that we were receiving from our partners on the ground, and you did. Together, we sent a generator to a fellow UU religious educator. We provided fuel for a helicopter rescue mission, and we continue to receive and meet the requests from those who need it most. Your impact, it's been profound, and it's been made because of you. Your generosity and your actions have made a significant difference in the lives of those who've been affected by Hurricane Helene. You should be proud, and I believe that you should be profoundly moved by what it is that we have accomplished together. But friends, we're not done yet. Today, our offering gives us a chance to take imagination further. As Audre Lorde reminds us, there is no such thing as a single issue struggle because we do not live single issue lives. We'll be sharing today's offering with our ongoing relief efforts and a new vision, one that is rooted in justice right here in Georgia. Many of you know about the Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry of North Carolina. Some of you really know it. North Carolina's in the house. It's a powerful network. They're working together on racial, environmental, and social and economic justice issues. And today, I want to ask you to imagine building something similar here in Georgia. A vision of Reverend Taryn's, a UU justice ministry that unites congregations and nonprofits to respond to crises and long-term efforts across this state, such as voting rights, environmental justice, and racial equity. This week, you showed what a congregation can do on very short notice, so imagine what a strong and intentional Georgia social justice ministry could do. Imagine the change that we could create if we came together from across this state and made it happen.
Yes.
Your generosity today, it's going to provide immediate life-saving support to Hurricane Helene survivors. And it's going to help us lay the groundwork for a future Georgia UU Justice Ministry. Your donations, they'll be used to purchase essential supplies, support ongoing relief efforts, and begin the planning and the implementation of a Georgia UU Justice Ministry. We can turn these dreams into reality with pure imagination and your support. This afternoon's offering will now be given and most gratefully received.
I went up to the mountain because you asked me to. Over the clouds to where the sky was blue, I could see all around me. Everywhere, I'd see all around me. Oh, everywhere. Sometimes I feel like I've been nothing but tired. And I'll be walking till the day I expire, till I lay down. No more can I do. But then I go on again. Because you asked me to. Some days I look down, afraid I will fall. And though the sun shines, I see nothing at all. Hear your sweet voice, oh, 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 come and then go. soul. The peaceful valley, just over the mountain. The peaceful valley. If you got to know, yeah. Oh, I may never get there. Ever in this lifetime. Sooner or later, it's there I will go. Sooner or later, it's there.
How about that band? Thank you, choir. Thank you, James. And thank you for your gifts and the plate today and your online gifts this morning. We've raised over $31,000 in 5 days for the relief efforts in North Carolina. So now, I ask you to please join me in dedicating this offering and all of the funds that we've collected this week. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings.
Hello, UCCA and friends and new word, family. That's new for me. Family. Okay. I'm Reverend Natalie Renee Perkins. My pronouns are Hershey like the chocolate. And I bring you greetings from Middle Collegiate Church, where I met Taryn. Well, I met you in seminary, but we interned together probably like a decade ago, and where Reverend Dr. Jackie Lewis is the senior minister. I'm doing the charge for the minister, so I'm gonna just talk to my friend, but you're all welcome to listen in, okay? Reverend Taryn, this day marks the beginning of a more fulfilled journey. As you step more fully into your call to this thriving, and pardon my language, but badass congregation, I charge you to bring your whole self. I charge you to be completely human, to walk thoroughly in your promise and purpose. And you can do that by being the Taryn that knows and remembers that your first ministry is to your family. Plan your time wisely with them. Leave work at work and be present with them. Lean on and grow your support system and pray with them and pray for them. Teach, learn, and practice right relationship, justice, love, peace, joy, and healing with James, Towns, Langston, and your extended family and family. Be the Reverend Taryn who knows and remembers to rest and play just as hard as you work. As Anne Lamott wrote in her book, Almost Everything, Notes on Hope, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes. Including you. You cannot draw water from an empty well. Protect your time away savagely. Give yourself ample time to rest, to recharge, and to reset, even or especially during the busy seasons. At minimum, put your head on your desk and allow your brain to cool. Take care of yourself and your vessel. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself. Pour into yourself. Provide your mind, body, and spirit with the nourishment you need to carry you through. There's this African proverb that I'm sure you've heard. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And it seems that most people really resonate with the second portion of that proverb. And I think there's something to be said for doing that. But I think that this proverb is really about wisdom and discernment. Be the Taryn that holds both parts of this proverb equally. Pay attention to when you need to go fast and alone, and when you need to work with others to go far. Though lots of balls may be thrown your way, you are not a juggler, you are a minister. You cannot hold the entirety of this ministry alone. Be wise and resolute in what tasks, projects, programs, situations, et cetera, problems are thrown your way, and what you pick up. Rely on your staff, your volunteers, and your congregation to step in and step up. Let me say that again. Rely on your staff, your volunteers, and your congregation to step in and step up. Amen? Amen. With their help, this church will continue to thrive and to flourish. Be the Reverend Taryn that holds space for future Reverend Taryn. Dream it and then real life it. Leave room for your imagination. You are the vision bearer for this church. You hold the vision of what this church can be, what this world can be, what you can be. Check in with yourself regularly on this. Was I more like future Taryn in this moment or less? In each moment, consider, is our church living more into its mission or less? You won't always get it right, and every moment of ministry isn't summer, but it's beautifully human. Plus, quite honestly, if it doesn't occasionally suck, you're probably not doing it right. Trade the idea of the utopia for an authentically human future that actively prioritizes and practices love and compassion and community. If you can hold on to these things, if you can maintain your wholeness and order your steps, you will be in a perpetual state of readiness, of preparedness. And as the saying goes, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Sure, every season isn't a summer, but you'll be more than prepared for the fallow nature of a winter, or for a fall when sometimes things die, or for the rushing bloom of a spring. Reverend Taryn, I charge you to be the badass the Holy has called you to be. Yes. Be bold, be brave, be intentional. May it be so.
Okay. I'm going to use the training I was given as a kid, first giving honor to Reverend Taryn Strauss. To to the colleagues gathered here from far and near, the spirit of some of those colleagues for whom we can feel but not see. To the authentic, creative, and life-giving congregation called the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta. That's y'all. I stand before you full of gratitude. I'm Duncan Eric T. I am the founding minister of Abundant Love Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta's West End. More importantly, I am a member and an affiliated community minister at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, where I'm tasked to charge the congregation in your shared ministry with the person you chose to call. At some point, I'll ask you to stand. I have too much to say to have you stand during the entire thing. We also want to welcome and thank the members of our larger denomination who came representing the spirit of our faith, which spreads around the globe. It is interesting to be in Kenya and make a decision about if you can go to the UU there. I've done it. At this moment in our history, our charge is about a shared ministry, as you've heard clearly from my colleagues who almost stole my whole thing. But I'm not bitter. We are here because we're supportive friends. We're here because we want to do something together that we can't do alone. We could attempt to do it alone, but something about a choir like this sounds so much better when it's more than just one person trying to sing all four parts. Or five. James, you sang today. I looked in our history and I found Reverend Fred Muir, who at this point in 2022, in January, was the Minister Emeritus at another UUCA, but this time it was Annapolis. And he thought that he should charge the congregation with being a fear-free zone. And at that moment in our history, I guess he was all right. I don't feel that way. I'm not calling you to be in denial about the fear that you have about a hurricane that started deep in the Caribbean, found its way through Georgia, that little slip of Florida, through Georgia, and then threatened one of our most beautiful cities in North Carolina, a hurricane. But you all know about that because you acted on it. So instead of trying to be in denial and ask you to be a fear-free zone, I'm asking you to be a love-centered zone. And I'm including myself in it since, as of right now, I need to get my pledge up to par. I ain't the only one. I'm including myself in this charge So if you're of willing body and spirit, if you'll stand, please. And if you are a member or a pledging, supporting friend of UUCA, if you support Taryn, you can stand. We charge you today with being a creative and imaginative source of this love-centered zone. In case you don't know what I mean by love, I don't mean mamby-pamby love. I don't mean that when you pass by Baskin and Robbins, you go, oh, I hope they have my flavor. That's not what we mean. We mean when you heard about the incidents of devastation and catastrophic flooding, you wanted to know when they're going to call. And when they called, you already had a basket ready. That's the kind of love we're talking about. We're also talking about love that I charge you with today that includes understanding. Understanding that says, I agree with Taryn, and I want to go where she's imagining us go. And the love that says, I can't stand what that woman said in church. Not last Sunday or this Sunday, but I'm here. Because that's what love is about. If any of you have been past the goo-goo stage in a relationship, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because we don't agree. Some of y'all hate this outfit. That's not why we're here. Because we have such important work to do in our love-centered zone. And somebody's got to lead us. I know y'all hate that. And sometimes she's going to go away to take care of her family and herself, and then you get to lead. And sometimes she's going to say, you lead. And that's the kind of love-centered zone we're talking about. And you bring your fear, you bring your doubt, you bring your hesitancy, you bring your I just came out of whatever closet it was. And you be there. That's the kind of love we're talking about. And lastly, we're talking about a love that says, I'll carry my part of this ministry, and you carry yours. Because 100 years from now, we want them talking about the magnificent work that UUCA did while Taryn was here. And that little black UUCA in the West End called Abundant Love. If you so and are willing, would you say, we will? We will. It's done.
Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Love has made a place for you where everything is new.
How beautiful it is to be together. Will you join me in prayer and presence? Spirit of life and love, God of many names and beyond all naming, source of all. At this celebration of the shared ministry of the UU Congregation of Atlanta and the Reverend Taryn Strauss, we turn our hearts to thanks and praise for the gift of living. In the presence of the Spirit that animates all life, and in the knowledge that we are connected to all that is, all that has been, and all that will be.
Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Love has made a place for you where everything is new.
On this day, we keep our hearts open to all who face disaster, floods and bombs and emergencies and devastation. And in the hope that this prayer travels every place it is needed, we sing together.
Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Love has made a place for you where everything is new.
For any who are vulnerable in the state of Georgia, any who tremble in fear at the stripping away of human rights, any who wait for news, good or terrible, any who struggle in uncertainty, we sing.
Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Love has made
Oh, I just meant loud.
a place for you where everything is new.
For all those in the city of Atlanta who are cast out, who are lonely, who are listless, purposeless, afraid, and hungry for meaning. Those who sleep on the street and the ones who can't sleep at all.
Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Love has made a place for you where everything is new.
For all those who search for a community of shared meaning and purpose. For all those who don't yet know there's a church like this. For any who are uncertain or hurting or afraid to belong, we sing.
Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Love has made a place for you where everything is new.
You may be seated. We continue in prayer. For anyone here stuck in your own past, anyone mired in mistakes or failures, or the ways you have hurt others or yourself. You who are anxious and depressed and despairing and self-loathing, wondering if there's a place for all of you in the joyful party. Any of you who are starting again, any of you who are proud and joyful and bursting with life. You who show up, you who help out, you who dream the better world into being. Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Let's do that one more time, but really quiet. Love has made a place for you where everything is new. For all the leaders of this congregation, whether you count your time in this place in days or decades, for all of you who work to make this a place of radical welcome, courageous action, and soulful connection. Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Love has made a place for you where everything is new. And finally, Taryn, for you. All your work and your visioning and your long nights dreaming have led you to this day, to this place of celebration and transformation. May your ministry be as much a blessing to you as it is to all those who gather. For you also, we sing. Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Love has made a place for you where everything is new. Let the church say amen. Amen.
I'm trying to hold my breath. Let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You set off a dream in me, getting louder now. Can you
echoing. Take my hand. Will you share this with me? 'Cause darling, without you, all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These arms could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me, for me. Never enough, never enough, never enough for me, for me, for me. All the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me, for me. Never enough, never, never, never enough, never, never, never enough for me, for me, for me. For me. Will the members of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta please rise in body or spirit? We gather to install the Reverend Taryn Thomas Strauss Steadfast as minister of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta. In doing so, we rededicate ourselves to the values of this religious community and of the liberal religious tradition of which it is part. For Unitarian Universalists, the relationships we here recognize lies between congregation and minister. We enter into covenant, pledging mutual respect and collaboration, openness, and trust. Now, on this day, we install you, Reverend Taryn, as our senior minister, to live and serve, to learn and love with us. Are you ready and willing to undertake the commitments of this ministry?
I am.
Will the members of the congregation read responsibly with me the words of acts of installation which appear on the screens? We cherish our congregation for its historical achievements for those who founded and nurtured it. We celebrate this congregation's call to transform lives through courageous action and soulful connection. We cherish our church and our community for what it is and for what it may become through our united efforts. In accordance with the practice of our tradition, we, as members of the Unitarian Universalist Taryn Strauss, we would have you dwell among us, speaking your truth to us and listening to our truth. Growing with us in our understanding of love, courage, and faith, ministering to us alike in times of joy and sorrow, and leading us in our commitment to the life of principled action. We also acknowledge the call of shared ministry and pledge to you our support and collaboration. Reverend Taryn, are you ready and willing to enter into this ministry among us?
I am. With a deep sense of gratitude, I'm just looking at the faces of board presidents and leaders, and it's just been a challenging road to get to this moment. So I'm just trying to really be here for it with you. As the installation, with a deep sense of gratitude, trusting in the transformative power of love, and with your continuing support, I joyfully take up the ministry into which you have called me. May our time together promote justice, peace, and love so as to show forth the promise of our faith. And let the people say, Amen.
The presentation of the stole is an honored tradition, as the installation represents a shared ministry between ministers and congregants. This stole, created by Diane Loop, Dorothy Green, Laura Rose, Joyce Lanterman, and Emmylou Bales, is the literal fabric that symbolizes the strength and beauty found in our shared journey and collective spirit.
Oh, you should stay up for this one. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready when joy comes back to thee. That's your part. Try it with me. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. Joy comes back to me. 'Cause I've been downhearted. I've been downhearted. I've been downhearted. But I won't be down so long. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. I wanna be ready. Joy comes back to me. I've been too long crying. I've been too long crying, but I won't be down.
together may be long, may be windy, may be confusing. It will probably not be easy, so let it be paved with joy. Let it be paved with sweetness. We are doing a candy communion today. So if you brought candy, take some candy with you as you go out into our dinner party and our dance party. As we move together, move forward into our shared future together with joy, with sweetness, always returning back to the center of the love that drives us forward together. Amen.
Amen.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Oh, to my spirit, off to my home. We're flying high this evening when we in our home. I got that sunshine in my pocket. I got that good soul in my feet. That hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it. It's so phenomenally. My life the way you rock it. Don't stop. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting slow. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Just imagine. Oh, nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feeling good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. And all those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. So just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. Woo, something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. I don't need no reason, don't need control. I fly so high, my ceiling weather in my zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, I got that good soul in my feet. Feel that hot blood when I'm rocking, don't stop. Woo! I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. My life the way we rock it, so don't stop. Oh, under the light when everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting too low. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Just imagine. Just imagine. Oh, nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feeling good, good creeping up on you when you dance, dance, dance. And all those things I shouldn't do when you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so just dance, dance, dance. 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 Break it down. I can't stop her. I can't stop her. I can't stop her. I can't stop her. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. I feel the good creeping up on you when you dance, dance, dance. And all those things I shouldn't do when you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving, so we keep dancing. Stop me. I got this feeling in my body. 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 I got this feeling in my body. Got this feeling in my body. Got this feeling in my 1, 2. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feeling good, good creeping up on you when you dance, dance, dance. And all those things I shouldn't do when you dance, 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 dance. Ain't nobody leaving, keep
Got this feeling in my body. Got this feeling in my body. Yeah, yeah. Got this feeling in my body. Got this feeling in my body. Woo! Get up this awesome band on stage up here. Woo!